Alrighty. Oh, oops. Okay. So, it's kind of like that. If you're not in Arizona, you may not have any idea what I'm talking about. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Just getting started here. If you've never been to one of my streams before, hi, I'm Sam. I like to run my streams like a Q&A, so if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. And I do my best to answer all questions as long as they're not vulgar or disrespectful. So thanks for that. Hi, Awatif. How are you? Thanks for being here. So today we're going to be talking about quantum networking, phase 2, the same thing I always talk about because people just always have questions about that. And I love it. Like, I don't talk about it because people have questions. I talk about it because I think this is like the coolest thing, the most fascinating information that you ever are going to get. Hi. Yeah. Sure thing, Celeste Marie. Am I a patriot? I'm an American. I don't know what you're asking me by that. Azrael Poyo, do you know anything about buying a business? I do not know anything about buying businesses. Okay. What is you doing? I am about to drink my coffee. And I'm doing a live stream currently. No, you're good. Hey, no problem. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Stop it. I don't want kids. Ghostly. We're not having kids ever. Hi, KB08. Welcome, everyone. If you're just popping on, I'm Sam. I talk about quantum networking and phase 2, which is a methodology for living your life that, get this, is passed down from wealthy mentors to their mentees or within wealthy families. So I was fortunate enough to meet my fiance, who was mentored by a man who learned about phase 2 from his mentor. And he passed it down to my fiance, and then Andre taught it to me. His name's Andre. And now we're teaching it to you because I think it's time that people know it. They learn it because it's really fun and it's really interesting. If I drink coffee, I'd be awake all night. Yeah. Well, I was tired before this live stream, so I was like, I need a little pick-me-up here. It was either this or a big, tall beer. Yeah. Okay. So if anyone has a question while I'm talking about this, feel free to ask. I do my best to answer all questions. Zinoff, do you consider yourself rich? Yes, I do. I absolutely consider myself rich. Super wealthy. The thing about my wealth is it's funny because up until about 2 months ago, I was broke as shit. We're talking like the lowest months of my life financially. But I have had total and complete time freedom since 2019. I haven't had to work a job since 2019. And with my TikTok and with the things that I teach and me getting into writing, which is what I love to do, and I kind of avoided it because I always thought, like, there's no money in writing, blah, blah, blah. That's a limitation that I've accepted myself. But since about 2 months ago, when I started following my intuition and doing what I'm guided to do, what I feel like doing, what I love to do, I've had the biggest month of my life, and it was just like an astronomical rise. Like, we're talking sub $1,000 a month to 5 figures in a month. And that's all because of phase 2, which is what I'm talking about here. So I absolutely consider myself wealthy. I have unlimited time and I have unlimited money. And yeah, that actually kind of leads into a conversation that we could have about the 3 different types of wealth. Do you guys know about the 3 different types of wealth? This is always fun because most people don't actually know. I have unlimited time. I love that. Do you really? Good for you, Celeste Marie. Okay. Where's Messi? I don't know. Azrael Polo. Azraela. Oh, Azrael Apoyo. Sorry. Usernames are like my kryptonite. Okay. Wow, I feel like I'm slurring. So how do you go about finding a mentor if you don't know any? That's a great question. Let me explain. If any of you are looking for a mentor, especially a mentor who's going to teach you something specific, you don't go find a mentor, your mentor finds you. There's a saying it goes like this. When the student is ready, the teacher appears, which means going out and finding a mentor is never going to work because you're not ready. You become ready when you open yourself to finding the mentor. So it's kind of like almost reverse psychology, or almost a little bit backwards. When you don't look for something, that's when you find it. So when you don't look for a mentor, that's when someone comes to mentor you. And it happens by chance. You don't go to networking events to find mentors. I used to teach all sorts of information about networking that I just don't agree with anymore because of what I've learned very recently. So yeah, but at the same time, I don't know what you're trying to be mentored in. If you're looking for a mentor to teach you about phase 2, like I was just talking about how wealthy people pass it down from mentor to mentee, you can actually just learn that from me. That's why we're teaching it. Because it's rare. There are very few people that I know. I don't know anyone. Anyone other than myself and my fiance who know this stuff. It's very rare. You ever set my phasers to fun? What's a phaser? Okay. Yes. Hello, everyone. The 3 types of wealth. Yes. Okay, so here's the 3 types of wealth. It was a very close guess, Celeste Marie. So the first type of wealth is the kind of wealth that you want to avoid. So the first type of wealth is a wealth of money, like an abundance of money, but no time. So people who have this type of wealth are usually entrepreneurs who are constantly working, or like really high-level CEOs who have tons of responsibilities and they don't get to enjoy their money. Do you want to have that kind of lifestyle? Probably not. So the second type of wealth is having an abundance of time, but not necessarily money. The thing about having an abundance of time means you can make as much money as you want. Some people don't want to have a ton of money. It's just not something they're interested in. They don't really care about it. But when they have an abundance of time, they're still wealthy. They have time freedom. They can do whatever the fuck they want. So that's the category I fall into. I like to have money, and like I said, my financial life just transformed within the past 2 months. So that's exciting, right? And the third type of wealth is unlimited money and unlimited time. People like my fiance Andre, his mentor Peter, fall into this category. So if you're looking for a mentor, if you want to meet people who are wealthy, you want to look for you want to look for part type 2 and type 3, the second type of wealth and the third type of wealth. If you want to surround yourself with people who have tons of money but no time, that's your choice. I personally wouldn't choose that, right? But, it's up to you. Yes. Generational attraction. Any side hustle tips? Hi, it's Jamie Lim. Okay, side hustle tips. When it comes to money, which I'm assuming that's why you would want to have a side hustle, right? It has nothing to do with what you physically do. So this is part of phase 2. Money in phase 2 is all about how you feel. So a lot of people think if they're going to set up a side hustle to make more money, they have to figure out how to do it and what side hustle they're going to do. And they get courses, or they find someone who could teach them, or they do whatever. None of that matters. What matters is how much you feel your feelings, your capacity to feel your feelings. Most people, even if you think you're the kind of person who's very capable at feeling feelings, like you feel a lot of them, as opposed to being someone who's numb to your feelings, you may feel a lot of feelings, but the question is, how deeply can you feel those feelings? Probably not super deeply, right? How quick are you to distract yourself? How quick are you to think to yourself, oh, I gotta do this and I gotta do that and I gotta figure all this shit out? All of those thought processes are distractions from your feelings. So in phase 2, it is all about deepening your capacity to feel your feelings through self-appreciation, which is why I talk about it all the time. In phase 2, life is simple. In phase 2, you create your entire experience, and you know this. This is why wealthy people teach each other about phase 2, because they're unlimited. They have no limitations that other people have. All limitations that you believe you have, you've just accepted from someone else. There's no true foundation behind any of them. I even firmly believe that you choose your consequences. In phase 2, the only consequences you experience for any action you may take are the consequences you believe you will suffer. If this is all an illusion, which is what phase 2 essentially posits, then nothing is real, and the only things you experience are that which you create for yourself, and you have the ability to consciously create anything you want. Okay. Valerie Rose Photography. I love your channel. I'm at work and I'm going to miss this. Oh, I'm so sorry. That sucks. Sorry, Val. What books do I recommend? Definitely mine, but also a book called Busting Loose from the Money Game is a fantastic book. Yes. Okay. Hello. Welcome, everyone. If you're just popping on, I'm Sam. I teach people a literal secret of the wealthy, very rare secret. Oh my God. I feel like when I get tired, my like tongue and jaw get tired too. So when I do late streams, it's very much like blah, blah, blah. Yeah, anyway, phase 2 quantum networking is a literal secret of the wealthy that my fiance learned from his mentor, Peter. If you've seen any of my content and you saw the stories about like the guy who made millions of dollars throwing parties, that's Peter. That's the guy who taught my fiance about phase 2. And the reason why he was able to do that was because he lived in phase 2. One of the things about phase 2 that ties into what I was just saying about limitations is that there are no specific things you need to do to make money. Meaning you can create money doing literally anything, throwing parties, talking to people, hanging out with people, doing literally whatever craft or fun thing you like to do. It's all about what you enjoy, giving yourself happiness, and that translates into money. You don't have to know how. It's completely illogical. And the fact that it is illogical is what stops a lot of people from being able to enter phase 2. But if you are brave enough to put your logic aside and focus on how you feel, the changes you will experience and the shifts in your life, they happen faster than you can ever imagine. Like I literally was just talking about how I went from the lowest months of my life, which I had for a year straight, to the highest month, which is a 5-figure month. In a month, one single month. Like crazy, fucking crazy. Welcome everyone. Bezos is type 3. I would agree to that. Yeah, I think he is type 3 too. I don't know what his daily life is like if he's really busy, but I would imagine he probably does whatever the fuck he wants. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Hi, Redizo. Welcome. Arby's or Wendy's? Wendy's. Yes. In terms of like finding a mentor, Roz Katsika, usernames, I'm so sorry. Yeah, no, you don't find a mentor, your mentor finds you. You create your mentor. And the way you create your mentor is by feeling ready to have one. When you feel ready to have something and you're not seeking it, when you seek something that suggests you don't have it, right? If you're looking for your keys, it's because you don't have your keys. But when you stop looking, that's when you find your keys. It's the same with literally anything else. Yes, okay. I already make a shit ton of money, but not enough. Am I in phase 2? Okay, the fact that you asked me if you're in phase 2 tells me that you're not, but that's okay. So the thing is, how much money is enough? If you put a number on it, you are limiting yourself. The truth is, the real J May, you are the source of literally unlimited money. It's the same as your blood flowing in your veins. So you never run out of blood, right? If your blood is circulating through your body, you never run out. It's the same with money. So you may be making a shit ton of money, but what, are you spending it too much? Or there's no way to spend money too much in phase 2 because you will just create multiples of that money back. The problem is you may be spending money with the expectation that it's not going to come back. And expectations are limitations in themselves. So it is impossible to spend money irresponsibly or recklessly in phase 2 because that's just circulating that money. It's like if you put a tourniquet in your arm and you stop the blood from circulating, it's going to cause problems. If you hoard money in phase 2 and you're afraid to spend it, it's like putting a tourniquet on. It causes flow issues in your life. So it's okay if this isn't like making sense to you. If any of you are just stumbling on this, it might sound like I'm talking crazy. This is real information. And like I just said, it's beyond the logical experience. It will take you some exposure to even open yourself up to this. But this is all facts. Like this is my own personal experience and the personal experience of other people. Yeah. I'm not straight, but for you I am. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Book. Okay. Great hair, nice cut. Thank you, lonely lady. Can I ask you a question? All right, let me just go through some questions here. Oh, you just got my ebook? Why, thank you, user 890. I appreciate that. I would love to know what you think of it. I'm very proud of that book. I've gotten just the best feedback about my ebook, Quantum Networking, which is available via the link in my bio, so I'd really love to know what you think about it. By the way, I just bought your book. Holy shit, it has been the most easiest read ever. I absolutely love it. Oh, thank you. I am so flattered. Thank you, Erica Davila. Okay. Doot doot. This is what I've been doing for a year now. Okay. The real J May, been watching your videos. Are you past phase 1? How does one find out how to get there? Okay, it's all about how you feel. If any of you are wondering, like, how do I get into phase 2? Let me explain. I'm going to break it down for you right now. Phase 2 is all about you and how you feel. That is it. You and how you feel. In phase 2, no one else matters. Now, it takes practice. When you're going into phase 2, you're going to bounce back and forth because you're still going to be in the habit of thinking about what other people think and other people's opinions and asking them what they think and thinking you need to learn stuff from other people. No. In phase 2, you know that you have all the information you need because you're connected to consciousness. You're connected to your intuition. So phase 2 is about following your intuition and following how you feel. Not only are you following how you feel in phase 2, you are deepening your capacity to feel your feelings through self-appreciation. So to know that you're in phase 2 is really just the decision to take that action, to sit down and say, okay, I'm going to practice feeling good. Maybe you set a timer and you see how long you can hold the feeling of happiness in your body before you shut it down or distract yourself. I bet most of you here, if not all of you, won't get past 10 seconds. It's really interesting. But that's when you know you're in phase 2. You start taking this action, and that's it. Okay. All right. Let me see. What else we got here in terms of questions? I just missed the book recommendations. Okay, the 2 books that I would recommend are, of course, my book, Quantum Networking. As you can see in the chat, it's a very easy read and explains phase 2 very simply. The other book I would recommend is called Busting Loose from the Money Game by Robert Scheinfeld. Okay. Thank you, the Tech Fairy. I was listening to my audiobook and I was like really criticizing myself and the way I did it, but I appreciate that you liked it. Okay. Hi, cutie Sam. What's the secret for being cute? The blood of my enemies. Duh. All right. Where and how to start. It's about your feelings. It's all about with your feelings. You start with your feelings. You start practicing feeling happy. Most people have learned, myself included, that we cannot be too happy. If we are too happy, we're going to annoy people. We're going to make people uncomfortable. We're going to be rubbing it in people's faces. We're going to be just disrupting the flow of society. That is all a limitation that you accepted. When you practice feeling happy, you expand your capacity to feel your feelings. That's how you get into phase 2. That's how you start. We call it self-appreciation. That's practicing self-appreciation. And it literally turns into money. You create money the more happiness you feel. I was literally talking to someone that I know yesterday. I worked with her on TikTok over a year ago. And she's been really successful in building her audience, but her sales weren't matching. She's a baker and she sells like baking kits. And I don't know if she's here right now. Mel, if you're here right now, I'm going to talk about you lovingly. She's selling her baking kits, but she's been struggling. And this chick was on like those TV shows about baking. She's a very talented and very successful baker, but her money just isn't there. So what I told her to do yesterday was focus on feeling good for as long as possible. She ended up doing it longer than I told her to, which is a great effort on her part. And then she sold 10 of her products overnight in her sleep, which she had never done before. It was very slow. And she thought it was because of the content she had posted, but it was actually because she did that exercise. It's not about what you do. Money is not about what you physically do. It's about how you feel. If you don't have the capacity to feel a lot of feelings, you don't have the capacity to create a lot of money, no matter how hard you work for it. Okay. Oh God, I'm so sorry. There's lots of comments. Okay. Is the live session being recorded? Yes, they are recorded, although they just sit in my TikTok account and I don't do anything with them. Phase 1, Asai Montez Deoka. Sorry, usernames. Phase 1, it's a good question. Phase 1 is what you're in right now. Like your life right now with the working hard and the being concerned about other people and not feeling your feelings and thinking about logic and mindset all the time. That's phase 1. Phase 1 is complicated as shit. The best thing about phase 2 and the reason why I'm so excited to teach this and talk about it is because it's simple. I hate complication. I hate it when things are complicated. Why can't it be simple? Well, it can be simple. It is very simple in phase 2. But most people want to complicate it because they're too used to being in phase 1. Thank you, Medicated in 2020, for buying my book. I appreciate that. I'd love to know what you think. Okay, let me catch up on some comments here. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. I appreciate you. All right. Isn't this using the law of attraction, raising your vibration by how you feel? Sort of. So the difference between, and this is my opinion, the difference between law of attraction as people teach it in the mainstream and law of attraction as you might call phase 2 is that in mainstream manifestation culture, it's very much about deciding what you want and like visualizing that you have it, feeling like you are that which you want to be. But I find that doesn't work. And the reason why I don't think that works in mainstream law of attraction teachings, I don't think they work because you're asking people to feel something that they have no concept of what it feels like. So when you tell someone, practice feeling like a millionaire, but they've never been a millionaire before, they're just guessing, honestly. They're just like, I think this is what I would feel like as a millionaire. The truth is, they're not yet at that emotional capacity to experience being a millionaire, which is why they don't manifest it through that method. So in terms of using, is it the law of attraction? Sort of, but only because the law of attraction is how you feel. With phase 2, you're deepening your capacity to feel your feelings. You're not pretending that you feel something you're not. Is that clear? Does that distinction make sense? Because it's a very important point. You can't feel what it's like to be a millionaire if you've never been a millionaire. But what you can do is practice feeling happier and happier and happier and happier to the point where you can sit in the feeling of happiness for 10 minutes straight or for 20 minutes straight. And you're just radiating this deep happiness. That's when you have the capacity to feel more and to create more. Because right now, if you're only capable of feeling happiness for 10 seconds before you shut it off, how are you gonna experience more? How are you gonna make that jump from being where you are now to being a millionaire? Okay. Yes. Is that clear? Yeah. Mujahid Toler. I'm so sorry. What would you say is single-handedly the best thing to do? What do you mean? Like, to do, like, ever? Or what is the best thing I do? What do you mean? Okay. What up? Erica Davila. Sorry, I think I missed your comment, Erica Davila, before you said that's their problem. Okay. It actually rubs on people. Oh, the happiness? Yeah. If someone gets upset with your happiness, that's not your fault. It's not your problem. But from a phase 2 perspective, you did create that. So it's not your responsibility to manage other people's feelings, but as the creator of everything you experience, if you create someone being upset with you being happy, that's reflecting the fact that you're not totally okay with you being happy yet. Yeah. I'm totally guessing that was what you're referring to. What do I do for a living? So I'm a writer, and I'm also interested in like acting and film, although I don't currently create money through those means yet. I just make my money through writing and social media. I create my money and it appears to come to me through social media. There's a difference. Like I was saying earlier, it's not about what you do. You don't have to do certain things to make money. It's about how you feel, and then money comes to you it appears to come through different means. So, yeah. What up? That's why there's literally unlimited side hustles, by the way. Whatever it is that you like to do is how you can create money. I don't care if you like underwater basket weaving. If that's what you like to do and you really feel excited about it and you practice appreciating yourself, you're going to create money that way. I don't really listen to Paramore. Sorry. Okay. Hello, Effortlessly Shade. Thank you. You bought my book and you're in Australia? Brisbane? Nice. Hi. Hello from Arizona, US. Thanks for checking out my book. Thank you. Thank you, 3DGMP. Suli.3. So in a way, it's getting out of your comfort zone. I don't really know what you mean by it, but yes, emotionally or in terms of feeling your feelings, yeah, you're practicing expanding your comfort zone. You're not going to be doing things that make you uncomfortable in a bad way. So you may be inspired or motivated to do something that makes you uncomfortable in like an exciting way, like, oh my God, I've never done this before. But your intuition is not going to guide you to do things that you physically don't want to do and you're uncomfortable with in that way. But emotionally, yeah, there's going to be some discomfort when you're practicing feeling your feelings more. Okay. Yeah, okay. Let me see. Do I have a physical copy of my book? Unfortunately, no. But if you don't want to read the ebook version, it does come with an audiobook, so you can listen to it. The audiobook is 2.5 hours long. The ebook is 130 pages. It's not some little like short document. Yeah. Okay. What do I do for a living? Yeah, right. Do I donate to charity? No. Que pendeja. I purchased your book, enjoyed it much more than I thought. Oh, thank you. It's funny that you had an expectation of how much you would enjoy it. Thank you for checking it out. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're enjoying it. The best thing. Oh, okay. Okay. The question is, what would you say is single-handedly the best thing to do that you do or recommend in regards to life in phase 2? Whatever the fuck I want to do. So the best thing to do for me and for you in phase 2 is whatever you want to do. If you wake up and you really feel like going to, I don't know, get a bagel and sit by the ocean for 2 hours, that's what you're supposed to do because you feel like doing it. If you wake up and you feel like doing that, but you think, oh, I have to do this instead, that's not phase 2. That's logic. Phase 1. That's forcing yourself to do something you don't want to do because logically it makes sense that you should do it. Yeah. So like, for example, today I went to a coffee shop and I just sat there for 2 hours. People probably thought I was some major NPC type character because I'm just like sitting in my chair like this with my coffee in front of me for 2 hours. I didn't have a laptop. I didn't have a book. I didn't have anyone sitting with me. I'm just like, and what I was doing was imagining filling the entire coffee shop with my energy, like my vibe. And so I was watching people notice me. And basically I was just practicing feeling my feelings, feeling like somebody who gets noticed. It was really fun. Really fun. Okay. The official Cisco. The question is, how do you self-appreciate? How do you feel happy when you are not? Okay, good question. If you don't feel happy, you don't have to force yourself to feel happy. You can deepen your ability, your capacity to feel whatever you're currently feeling. It's very important that you don't add thought to it or add meaning to it. The mistake that most people make when they don't feel good is they add meaning. They say, oh, I don't feel good because I really fucked up the other day. And because I really fucked up, maybe I don't deserve this shit that I want. And because I don't deserve it, wow, I'm really not the person I thought I was. Fuck. That's adding meaning, and it makes you feel so much worse. But instead, when you feel your feelings, if you don't add any thoughts, you just have the energy in your body, it will go away. You will get past that negative. It's not really negative. We just call it negative to denote unpleasant, right? You'll get past that energy. And in doing that, you are deepening your capacity to feel your feelings. Now, when you get past the heaviness, when you get past a lot of that emotional density, and you feel more neutral, that's when it's a lot easier and more fun to practice happiness. You can't really always jump from not feeling happy to feeling happy. That's difficult. A lot of people have emotional density. The problem, like I was just saying, is when you think about it. That just causes the emotional density to last so much longer than it needs to. It took me a couple years to get through the emotional density that I had, because I had trauma in 2019. A lot of people have trauma from a much younger age, which I did, but then it was like I was re-traumatized in 2019. So it took me a good 2 years to feel all the really heavy feelings that I had. But now I don't feel bad for longer than a couple minutes, just because it's like a passing gray cloud. So yeah, that's what I would say for you. 25 AC, what do you think of Napoleon Hill's techniques? I think they're complicated. I think they're bullshit, honestly. Yeah, I don't really pay attention to that. I read Think and Grow Rich. Didn't vibe with me. Did I write a novel? I wrote a book. It's not a novel. It's like an informational book. How do you monetize it? Through your feelings. Okay, you can monetize anything because it's not the action that creates the money. It's your feelings. That's why Peter, my fiance's mentor, was able to throw house parties and make millions of dollars because he had so much self-appreciation. His capacity to feel his feelings was so fucking deep. And so he did what he loved to do, which was party and fuck. And that's how he made money. He created people giving him money. He didn't have to ask. He didn't have to put a sign on the door that said, please leave a check. It just happened. And this is illogical. You may be struggling but how? Why does this work? How does this work? I cannot explain that for you. It's illogical. You just have to experience it. Okay. Thanks for all the hair compliments. I appreciate that. Thanks, Becky Conlow. I appreciate that. This information is just so wild. That's why I love talking about it. 25 AC. What a brilliant idea. Practice feeling people notice your vibe. Exactly. Yeah. So I was creating all the people who noticed me. If I struggled with it, it was because I created the struggle, but I didn't. It was really fun. Okay. User Q5H. It's 0023 in England. I'm excited for today's call. Would you clarify what time that is? Oh, I don't even know. I have no idea what time the call is tomorrow. Oh, by the way, the call that we're talking about is the first ever quantum networking event. So all this stuff that I'm talking about in terms of phase 2 and feeling happy, the biggest hurdle for a lot of people is practicing their happiness around other people. So one thing that really helps you get into phase 2 is being in a space where everyone wants you to talk about your good vibes and talk about what you like about yourself. You don't have to be happy. The point is we're creating a space for you to practice that, okay? So that's what we're doing tomorrow or today for some people, depending on where you are in the world. The ticket to that event is available via the link in my bio. I'm really excited for it. I'm going to be there. Andre's going to be there. We're going to facilitate a phase 2 experience for you. So if that sounds fun to you, definitely show up. Okay. Did anyone recognize you? Fortunately, no, but I did see someone there who I had an awkward falling out with. And I don't think he noticed me. And if he did, he was a gentleman about it because he didn't say anything. I want to purchase the audiobook. Is it available on your link? Yeah, so when you get the ebook, the audiobook comes with it. I don't sell them separately. Plus, when you get those two things, you also get a little bonus gift. So Albriwa 1119, the link in my bio, that's how you get the ebook. Okay. If anyone's wondering about the book, It's only available via the link in my bio. Unfortunately, it's not on Amazon or in print. All right. I'm going to catch up on some comments here. Any tips from JK? Any tips on self-limiting beliefs regarding money? I'm struggling. Okay. Yeah. So what I can say about that is, I don't know if you've read the book or not, but all of your limitations fall into 3 categories, and this applies to everyone here. You might want to write this down. 100% of your limiting beliefs and your limiting logical ideas fall into one or more of these 3 categories. And those categories are judgments, expectations, and comparisons. So if you take an idea that you have, a limiting belief about money that you have, and you put it in one of those boxes, you can very clearly see which one of those things it is. So for example, one of your limiting beliefs regarding money could be I won't make enough money if I do this. If I'm a teacher, I'm not going to make enough money to survive. That is an expectation. That's definitely an expectation, right? So that's clearly a limitation. All limitations, all expectations, all comparisons, and all judgments are limitations. Even positive ones, right? Even positive ones. So you may say, I'm great, but my friend over here is even smarter than I am. That's still a comparison. You may say, I'm beautiful, but there are girls out there who are more beautiful than me. That's still a limitation. It's not about other people. Or even in terms of money, I believe that I could create $20,000 a month. That's a limitation. That's an expectation. That's a number. You could create $1 million a month or $20 million a month. Those are still numbers though. So the idea of creating money is that your money is unlimited. You cannot put you could put a number on it, but you don't have to. I don't believe in setting money goals. I don't set any goals. And definitely not money goals. Because if I set a goal to make 20K in a month, but I could have made 40 or 50 if I had just not set that goal, I'm just not going to set a goal at all, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So essentially, if you do something that you don't enjoy, you're not happy about it, then if you do something you don't enjoy or you're not happy about, then you're attracting money. If you just try to do something to make money rather than having passion. Yeah, okay. So doing something you don't like is going to limit the amount of money you experience. Most people are working a job that they hate, and then they wonder why they have no money. Let me break it down for you. Let me break it down, okay? This is my opinion, although I've seen this physically unfold in my experience, not only for me, but for other people. So whether you believe it or not, doesn't matter. This is how I see it, really. Everyone has a grand plan for their life. You, the human version of you, the little human version with the flesh, you didn't create the plan, but your consciousness did. You are both things at the same time. You are the consciousness and you are the human avatar. So your consciousness is like playing a video game and you're the character in the game. If you do what your consciousness is instructing you to do by sending you intuitive messages, if you follow those messages, it's not just intuitive messages, it's also how you feel. So if you follow what makes you feel good and you follow the intuitive messages, you are on your highest path. It's alignment. That's what people call alignment, right? When you're on your highest path, you create everything you need easily, even beyond that. Like Peter, do you think he needed $50 million? No, he didn't need that, but he wanted that. It was what he was meant to have. That's it. So when you're not doing what you want to do, when you're doing things you physically and emotionally don't want to do, you're not on the alignment with your consciousness and you're just making things harder for yourself. Yeah. That's why I will preach about how you feel so much, because that's how you get on your path. Everything is so much easier when you're in alignment. Yeah. There's no hard work in alignment. There is creation and there is making things and there's inspiration and there's action, but there's no hard work. No. Which is great because I'm very anti-hard work. Okay. How do you feel about thoughts and logic? I hate them. I don't hate them. I'm like very indifferent. Hi, JC Escobar. Great finding you here. Thanks for sharing your experience and knowledge. My pleasure. Okay, reality gems. The majority of the world doesn't have the luxury of doing whatever they want. That's a limiting belief. Okay, not only are you limiting yourself, you are also actively limiting other people. Why would you say that? Well, I get why you would say it. Like, I'm not trying to bash you. You've accepted the belief that, like, most people are just fucked, right? But do you really want that to be true? Because as long as you believe that's true, it's going to be true for you. You are either one of those people who has that luxury or you're not. Why would you decide that for yourself? Why can't you just focus on doing what you want to do, which will then inspire someone else to do what they want to do? Yeah. Sorry. I don't believe that anything is a problem. You can look at the world and see all of the horrible things that are happening, but if you know that the world is just a hologram or an illusion, and everyone is here playing the game, and whether they're real or not is up to you, you don't get to decide what someone else's life is going to be like or not going to be like. That's not up to you. The only thing you focus on is yourself. So are you going to limit yourself or are you not going to limit yourself? Don't apply limitations to other people. That's lame. Yeah. The premise that more money means more happiness is fraught with holes, okay? Again, why would you limit yourself that way? Have you even experienced it? You have not. Just closed my first $1 million sale at 24 years old. Excited to learn more from you. Okay. Did you apply something that you learned from me in closing that sale? Angelia? Joy? I would love to know. Congratulations. That's awesome. I have many tattoos. Yeah. Okay. He did notice you, but he'd already practiced being noticed by you. I don't know. Maybe he did. I really did not want to talk to him. Your laugh is contagious. Thanks, Becky. What time zone I'm in? I am in Mountain Standard Time currently. I live in Arizona, so we like don't have daylight savings and it's weird. Thank you. All you need is love. Okay. Doot, 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 doot. All right. Let me see. I'm so sorry. I honestly don't know what time the call is tomorrow. I totally forgot. But you can, like, all the details are via the link in my bio. I know probably several of you are probably like not wanting to leave the live currently. Hey, babe. He's got his headphones on. I know it. Yeah. It's great to have feelings, but don't you have to have action behind the feelings? No, not always. See, that's the thing about intuitive action. If you have an intuitive action to take, then take it. But you don't have to make money. This is what I used to believe, right? I used to believe that I would make money when I post content. So every day I'd be like, I gotta post content today. If I don't post content today, I'm not gonna make any money. That's actually not true, because posting the content and creating the money aren't related. What happens is I would get an intuitive idea, or what happens now rather that I've let go of that belief, is I get ideas for content and I'm like, oh, that's fun. Like, I'm going to make this piece of content, and I post it, and then the money is not related to the content. The money is related to how I feel before, during, and after posting that content. So that means that some days I don't post any content. I still create money because I still feel good. What's challenging is getting to the point where you don't feel bad because you're not seeing the money come in. If you feel good, whether you see money in your experience or not, then your energy is just like solid and you're going to create that money more consistently. All right. 25 AC. Can you get over that innate cringing feeling without putting yourself out for hard rejection? Well, yes, you definitely can. The thing is, you're creating the rejection. You are enjoying the feeling of being rejected and feeling cringy, which is why you experience it. So if you're creating that, you can stop it anytime. The thing is, you have to accept and admit that you are creating it. Because as long as you don't do that and you continue to lie to yourself and say, it's not my fault, people are rejecting me, they're making me feel cringy, then you're never going to get over it. Yeah, all of you are creating 100% of your experience right now, which is why I talk about limitations so much. If you're creating 100% of your limitations or your experience and you have a bunch of limitations, you're going to have a really limited experience. Keep showing up and feeling good without evidence. Yes. Keep doing what you feel inspired to do. Showing up doesn't necessarily mean, it doesn't mean at all, forcing yourself to do stuff you don't want to do or don't feel good about doing. But yes, keep following your intuitive motivation, which could have nothing to do with what you think you're supposed to do. Like, for example, there was one day I was practicing following my intuition, and it literally told me to go get a block of cheese, to eat a block of cheese, word for word. The message I got was, eat a block of cheese. And of course, I'm like, no, give me another instruction that has to do with my work. Like, tell me what content you want me to make today. I got the same instruction, eat a block of cheese. And I'm like, this is so stupid. Why would I do that? But I did it anyway, okay? I went to the store and I picked up some cheese and some crackers. And it was like $10. And I ate the cheese and crackers. And then it hit me. Oh, I totally see why I was supposed to do this. I totally see why I was supposed to do this. It was because the fact that I was like not enjoying cheese and crackers, the fact that I was avoiding enjoying my cheese and crackers was so, it's like the epitome of non-self-appreciation, right? Why would I avoid doing something that I want to do just to save a few bucks? Like, that's phase one in a nutshell right there. Yeah. Anyway, talking about intuitive action. Okay, stop spamming the chat asking about how much money I earn. I will not tolerate spamming. Okay. We'll do 5 minutes. Does anyone want to be a mod? Doot doot. Okay. I don't know why I'm making like random sounds. Great finding you here. Someone said, okay, Rockstar XEE. So I shouldn't go to work tomorrow. I just do what I want. Do what you feel. What you feel. What you want is always a problem. Here's the thing. I may say, do what you want to do. What I really mean by that is do what you feel good about doing. You probably don't want to go to work tomorrow, but if you feel like frightened about not going to work, you have to go to work. The thing is, you're listening to this live stream and you're becoming aware that your path to your highest and best life is already laid out for you, and the way to be on the path is by following what makes you feel good. Because you are now aware of that, something is going to change soon. Maybe you get a different job offer, maybe you get inspiration for a business idea, but because you're now aware of what makes you feel good, you're not going to miss that opportunity. Whereas in the past, before this stream, you probably would have missed it. You wouldn't have even seen it because you were so set on this is what I have to do, right? So if you don't feel good about doing something, don't do it. Today or tomorrow is not the day to quit your job out of the blue. But you are now aware that other possibilities are open to you. Your consciousness is like whispering to you, hey, do this, do this. You've just been so focused on logic and what you think you have to do that you've missed all of the signs. Okay? Yeah, so don't go quitting your job today unless it really makes you feel really fucking good, right? Whew. All right. Can you talk about my cloud picks for you? Can you talk about how to think about numbers or amounts you don't like in order to bring more money? Can you talk about how to think about numbers or amounts you don't like in order to bring more money? Oh, all right, let me see if I understand what you're asking. How can you look at the numbers in your bank account, which are lower than you want them to be, and feel better so you can create more money, right? The way that I would do that is by appreciating your experience thus far. So here's the thing about self-appreciation. It's not just appreciating the good times. You're not just appreciating like, oh, I'm alive and I have all my limbs. You are also appreciating the fact that you have so much life experience. You could go to someone who maybe has never even been alive on Earth, or you can go to someone else in a similar situation and talk to them because you have the same experience. And that's something people overlook so much. The fact that you have actual life experience, having little to no money, you're fulfilling your purpose for being here on Earth. That's not to say your purpose is supposed to be to struggle, but you have to struggle at the beginning so that the fun part is fun. Because if there's no struggle, there's no fun either. You know that, right? You know there's no light without darkness, and there's no darkness without light. There's no fun and limitlessness without struggle and limitedness. So instead of looking at the numbers, don't even worry about the numbers. The numbers aren't real. The numbers mean literally nothing. It's about how you feel. You can find good feelings in the realization and the acceptance that you're like killing it here on Earth in terms of experience. You are accumulating so much experience. If you think of this as like a video game, you are the top player. You are the best at the game of your life. You may be judging yourself. Remember, that's a limitation. You may be judging yourself. You may be comparing yourself. You may have expectations. Those are all limitations. What you need to focus on and feel is appreciation for your life experience thus far. Do that. That will change your experience. Marie Cruz Suarez, where do you start if you need money to do what you want to do? Where do you start if you need money to do? Okay, the idea that you need money to do what you want to do is a limitation. You're limiting yourself by believing you need that. So instead of trying to get the money, ask your intuition, how can I open my business? Ask your intuition, because you have all the answers. You don't need me to answer this for you. You know what the answer is. You just aren't accepting it, or you've never asked your intuition. Ask your guide. You want to call it your higher self, your consciousness, your intuition, whatever the fuck you want to call it, your angels, whatever. Ask, how can I open my business? I feel like opening my business. How can I do that? Maybe you need to sit in meditation or like do something so you're not distracted, but you will get the answer. You don't need money to do anything. The money is the byproduct. Money is not a limitation. Money is something that comes as a byproduct of following what makes you feel good. This may be so fucking hard for you to believe because it's not logical. Everyone sees that money logically creates opportunities or allows you to open businesses. Oh, we do have a mod. Thanks, 25AC. Yeah. Is that clear? Because I can talk about how to talk to your intuition if you guys want to know that. I'm always thinking about, am I doing it right? Okay, Johnny Sosa, it sounds like you have a fear or an obsession, rather, with doing it wrong. So if you're constantly asking yourself, am I doing this right? It's because you're worried about doing it wrong. Why do you worry about doing it wrong so much? Because you like to feel like doing it wrong. You like to enjoy the feeling of doing it wrong. You may not realize that, but it's true. I don't think about if I'm doing something wrong because I got over my obsession with whether or not I was doing things wrong a while ago. But yeah. How tall am I? 5'5". Okay. Lately, Kohler Beats official. Lately, a customer wanted to pay me $1,000 instead of $60. Why do you charge $60? I guess I have no idea what you're charging for. Manifested through self-appreciation. Yes. See? Let me break down exactly what happened for you there. So you appreciate yourself more, right? You've been working on it. And self-love and self-appreciation are not the same thing. So we're going to say self-appreciation here. If you've been working on appreciating yourself and feeling more good feelings and someone offers you $1,000 out of the blue, it's because now you have the capacity to charge $1,000 or to receive $1,000 for what you do. Where previously you may have only had the capacity to receive 60. Maybe even that was a stretch. Maybe you had people being like, nah, 60 is a little bit too much, right? See? It doesn't take long. All right. I'm creating so much cringe with my relationship right now. OMG. Okay, I love that you say that you're creating cringe. Yeah. Why do you like cringe so much? You can say out loud, Kylia Mac, I'm willing to admit that I enjoy the feeling of cringe. I enjoy the feeling of cringe, or I enjoy to feel cringe. What, is that even English? But when you say that, when you say I'm willing to admit that I enjoy feeling whatever, you're accepting your responsibility, which breaks the cycle. You're being honest with yourself for fucking once in your life. It doesn't take long to stop habits. The reason it takes so long for people to stop habits or start habits is because they're lying to themselves constantly. Oh, it's a generational curse. I have to deal with this generational curse. Blah, 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 blah. No, it's just because you enjoy the feeling of what you do. You may not enjoy the circumstances. The circumstances probably suck, but you definitely enjoy the feeling because it's very consistent. It's very predictable. It may even be comforting. It may even be satisfying. Cringe for me was very predictable because I thought I was really awkward. I had this very persistent thought about myself where I assumed I was just an awkward person. And so I would feel cringe all the time. But I liked that because it aligned with what I thought about myself, which is why I didn't stop. So it was like a feedback loop. All right. We have a mod. Paid mod? No. Free mod. A mod for my appreciation. Hi, Amanda Tay. So, do you believe the voice in your head is you? Well, yeah. I mean, who else would it be? The thing is, there's a difference between your logical brain, or your logical voice, rather, and your intuitive voice. The intuitive voice is quieter. It's not argumentative. It will not ask you twice. And the way that I can distinguish it is my intuitive voice sounds like it's coming from the back of my head, but your logical voice is like very loud in the top in front of your head. So if you've never paid attention to your intuitive voice, you may have no idea what you're talking about. But now that I've mentioned it, you're going to start to notice occasional voices that come from the back of your head. You can also speak with your intuition through your feelings. So what I like to do is ask for an intuitive answer, which you can get all the time. You don't have to wait. You can always ask your intuition for guidance 100% of the time. I like to ask a question, get an answer, and then run the answer through my body by saying something like, is this a message from my intuition? And I'll either feel like this tingly yes sensation or nothing, or like shrinking, which is no. Yeah. The only thing that matters is awareness. If you're not aware which voice is your intuition or your logic, it's going to be confusing, but that's why I'm explaining it right now. I am not hiring. Oh, thanks for everyone who offered to be a mod. I appreciate that. That's really sweet. Forget them. JC Escobar, how to deal with people that keep enforcing ideas of lack and shame around money. Okay, you're creating those people. If you're surrounded by people who keep saying a bunch of shit that's very limiting about money, you're creating them. You're just not accepting the fact that you are doing so. When you change your relationship with yourself, which it's not about money, it's about yourself. So ideas of lack and scarcity about money are really just ideas of feelings, rather, of fear that you can't support yourself. You can't hold yourself, that you are not powerful enough to create everything you need. That's not very fun, but because you now are aware that that's how you feel about yourself, again, money has nothing to do with it. You don't believe you're powerful enough as a creator. You don't feel that you're powerful enough as a literal fractal of consciousness. What to do now is to practice self-appreciation. You don't have to focus about anyone else. You don't have to worry about those people. When you practice self-appreciation and you appreciate yourself enough to the point where you feel powerful, which doesn't take long, you'll notice that people stop talking to you about limiting beliefs. They just stop. Out of nowhere. You will have to admit to yourself that you've been creating them. You can't appreciate yourself and continue to lie to yourself, but those two things, when combined, will solve any issue that you have, because you are creating literally everything. Kind of like that other guy who was here talking about like brushing over poverty. That guy's creating the poverty in his experience. If he can't see anything but poor people, it's because he's creating all the poor people, which is why putting limitations on other people is just you putting limitations on yourself. There's no difference. Okay. Have I found love? Absolutely. Okay. I'm so sorry if I missed your questions. Hi, I'm Wildfire to you. Yes, welcome. All right. Okay, hold on. Okay, great. Positive Jackie 111. Is that logic telling us don't buy that or get that to save money even though we want? Yes. Your logical brain is telling you that you are not the creator of your money and money is a limited resource and you shouldn't spend that because you'll need it for something else. It's a limitation. This is why I say logic is limiting. That's the bottom line. You could try to tell me that, oh, logic is good for this. No, logic is limiting 100% of the time, right? Your soul, your intuition, your consciousness, if you want something, if you see something, no matter how silly it is, material or not, whatever it is, you created it. If you want it, you want to experience it, buy it. You are the creator of your money. It's like in phase 2, spending money is like having a slot machine where you put $1 in, you get $3 back. It's crazy. Like, yeah, it's crazy. You have no reason to hoard money in phase 2. Hoarding money is just like intentionally going back to phase 1. Yeah. How are you? I'm well. Nephilim bloodline. Bad times are blessings in disguise. Bad times are what you create. Oh, Zany Jane. This man was willing to do anything for me, loved me unconditionally. I felt heavy and low with him. My feelings say no, but logically, why would I say no to an unconditional loving relationship? Because there's tons more people who are unconditionally loving. Are you sure he was unconditionally loving, or are you just like assuming or maybe hoping that he was? Because if your feelings say no, it's a fucking no. Your feelings do not lie. I say this all the time. You can always feel the truth. Always feel the truth. If you say something like, let's pick a conspiracy, pick a conspiracy theory or something like, we never landed on the moon. If you feel something, then it's true, right? So if you say, I want to be in a relationship with this guy, but I don't feel like I should because there's something wrong, and you feel something, it's true. You can always feel the truth, always. That's why I say to say statements like, I'm willing to admit that I enjoy the feeling of X, Y, and Z. Because when you feel something, you know it's true. I'm willing to admit that I enjoy the feeling of selling myself short and always ending up in relationships that aren't good enough for me. Oh man, I just felt this expansion in my chest. Yeah, because it's true, and that's what you've been doing, like creating for yourself. So I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Maybe that helped. Who knows? Okay. The key is giving value to the path we've going through. Yeah. And giving value meaning appreciating. Yeah. You guys ever notice this? I'm starting to like stutter. You guys ever notice that like stocks and investments, when they're gaining value, we say they're appreciating? So appreciating yourself means growing, gaining value. And value has nothing to do with your skills and your accolades. Absolutely nothing to do with skills and accolades. Your expanding value has everything to do with your sense of appreciation for yourself, which is something you have the ability to cultivate 100% of the time. You just haven't done it yet because thus far in your life, in phase 1, your focus has always been on other people. In phase 1, it's all about other people, what they can teach you, what they think about you, what makes sense based on their opinions. No wonder you don't appreciate yourself and you've never fucking done it before in your life. But that's also the one thing you haven't tried yet. That's the one thing you haven't tried yet to change your life. It's been right in front of your face this whole time. Heck. Positivity Jackie. So if it's about curating money, about how you feel, is that the same as energy, feeling, and energy? Creating money. Oh, so if it's about creating money about how you feel, is that the same as energy, feeling, and energy? Sort of, I guess. I don't think of it as energy because to me, energy is such a nebulous concept. Yes, I guess it is technically energy. My fiance gives a very good analogy where imagine a lamp. There's a lamp, right? So the plug that plugs into the electricity in the wall is your feelings. So your feelings are the electricity. The cord that connects the electricity to the light bulb is your beliefs. And then the light bulb is your experience. So when you plug the electric cord into your electricity, which is your feelings, and you combine that with your beliefs, you create the light, which is your experience. It's a clear analogy, but I like to say feelings because everyone knows what feelings are. If I say energy, it starts to get kind of like nebulous for people. They don't really understand what I'm talking about. Same thing with vibration, same thing with frequency, same thing with like all that stuff. It's too nebulous. Feelings, everyone knows what a feeling is, right? That's all it is. It's feelings. So the more you feel, the more energy, I guess, the more capacity you have to create different, bigger, grander experiences, more money, whatever it is that you want. Same with connections. Like that's the whole thing about the quantum networking event tomorrow that I was talking about earlier. The feelings that are going to be in that space, which is, it's on Zoom, so you can join from wherever. The feelings in that space are going to create shifts in your life. You've never been in a space like is going to be available to you at the networking event tomorrow. That's why we're hosting it, right? So yes, feelings, energy, are they the same thing? Yes, it's just that feelings is more clear. That's why I talk about it. All right. How do we talk to our intuition? Yes, let me talk about talking about intuition. I do have a YouTube channel. Okay. Let me give you a crazy secret. This is a fantastic tip for talking to your intuition. What you can do, I won't say you have to do it, but I would recommend that you do this, is ask your intuition what its name is. When you have a name for your intuition that you address it by, you create like a relationship. And it's kind of like a friend that you always call on. If your intuition doesn't have a name, it's very easy to forget that it exists. Right? So for example, my intuition told me that her name is Bella, which is really funny because Bella is one of my pen names. I don't know. I had the pen name before I named my intuition. I don't know if I came up with the pen name because my intuition is named Bella or if my intuition called itself Bella because of the pen name, whatever. But if you relax, take some deep breaths and you focus inward, and you ask, intuition, are you there? What name can I call you? Or what is your name? You'll get an answer. And that is a very key aspect of talking to your intuition. So then when you have its name, you can call on it anytime. You say, or I say, for example, Bella, are you there? What do we feel like doing right now? And I get an answer. Whatever it is. That was how I got the eat a block of cheese or the intuitive guidance on what to post for my content on any given day, or literally whatever I feel like doing. Sometimes it's hard to realize or feel or know what you feel like doing because there's so much stuff you could do, which is why it's helpful to ask your intuition. So I'm trying to enter the next level in my life. Am I progressing or regressing? Well, if you're trying, you're not getting anywhere. What do you mean by the next level, Neo-Visual Cloud? Sorry, there's so many comments here. Okay. All right. Samantha? Oh, I love that. Aquila Agatha. Your intuition's name is Samantha. I love that. My intuition's name is Shakira, Isabella. I love that. Whose intuition? Yes. 11 a.m. in Arizona time. Yeah. Is the event in the quantum networking portal? Yeah. So the networking event that I was just talking about, if you want to come, it's available via the link in my bio, which you just tap on my username and then the link in my bio. That's the same place you can get the ebook and everything else. Yes. Goddess. Thank you, Lost Boy Wins. Doot, 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 doot. All right. Preach, queen. Okay. I'm trying to do better, yet it feels like I'm facing some more problems after I've progressed some. You keep trying. See, okay. I would like to help you, Neo Visual Cloud. I just have no idea what you're referring to. So everyone faces problems, right? Life is not just fun. What could be happening for you, and this is kind of what I'm like sensing, because I have very little information, very little context. What I'm sensing is that you think your problems are not your fault. They're not your responsibility. When in fact, you are creating 100% of your experiences. So any problems that you're coming up with, especially problems that seem to be like a pattern or a consistent issue, are because you're creating them. So what you can do is use the phrase, I'm willing to admit that I enjoy the feeling of, and then insert your problem there. So let's say your problem is money related. I always run out of money. You can say, I'm willing to admit that I enjoy the feeling of running out of money. And if you feel energy in your body, which you probably will, if you insert the correct problem, right? That means it's true. Again, you can always feel the truth. Always feel the truth. You have no reason to ever be confused in life. You just have to have the courage to admit it, right? If you keep running up into the same problems, it's because you're not accepting responsibility for them and releasing your attachment to those issues, which you do through being honest with yourself. Hi, Dodging Karma. All right. Do I have a good wine recommendation? No, I like beer. I can recommend some good beer, craft beer. The official Cisco. Thank you for this information. I just realized I love being broke and struggling. Do you know how monumental that realization is? You have any idea what you just did? You just realized that you enjoy the feeling of being broke and struggling. You just realized that you've been intentionally creating being broke and struggling, which means if you've been intentionally creating being broke and struggling, you can also intentionally create being wealthy and not struggling. You just found your power, my friend. That's fucking awesome. So the way to find your wealth and the way to create your wealth and your ease is through appreciating yourself and following your intuition. What is it that you feel inspired to do? Is it writing? Is it starting a business that helps people with, I don't know, walking their dog? What is it that you can't stop thinking about? What is it that you would literally love to do? It doesn't matter what that thing is. Don't worry about, I don't know if I can make money doing this. You can, because the money you create depends on your feelings. It has nothing to do with what actions you're physically taking. The actions you take are aligned with your intuitive guidance. And the money comes as a result of appreciating yourself and feeling more feelings, increasing your capacity to feel. That is it. Phase 2 is simple. Phase 2 is simple. This is why wealthy people teach this and use it, because it's not fucking complicated. And they can do literally anything they want to do with this simple formula. Their highest possible experience, which you can see them living with the yachts and the jets and the material goods or just the freedom to do whatever the fuck they want to do, that's all created through massive self-appreciation and intuitive guidance. I'm giving you all the fucking key. Okay. Doot, 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 doot. I hate that I love you. Contradictions. I love it. That's so amazing. I felt it's just true. There you go. Menina Floral. I got the ebook. I feel like I don't quite get it. What is it that you don't quite get? I'd be happy to explain or sort of explain. The thing is, the reason you might not get it is because you're trying to make logical sense of it. I've said this before. You cannot make logical sense of any of this. In fact, it's your logic that's preventing you from being able to do this or get it. That's why I say logic is limiting. Haterosaurus. Haterosaurus. Can you elaborate on the whole appreciation principle? Yes. Okay. So think of it this way. It's a very simple way to see self-appreciation. Self-appreciation is offering happiness to yourself. And appreciation in general is offering happiness to other people. So offering happiness to yourself is giving yourself the opportunity, probably for once in your life, to actually be happy for no reason. Just because. Just like, I just feel like feeling happy. I'm going to let myself feel happy and I'm going to do it for 30 seconds or 60 seconds. I promise you, you're not going to be able to do it for very long because you're so rusty at it, right? Yet people can feel miserable for hours and hours and hours and hours at a time. Yeah. So appreciation is offering happiness to yourself and others. Offering happiness to others creates an experience that facilitates lots of amazing things. This is why networking from a phase 2 perspective is effortless. Because if you're offering happiness to other people by facilitating your own happiness and cultivating your own happiness, people are going to be like, how can I spend more time around you? Like literally, what can I do to be your friend? Do you want money? Do you want gifts? Do you want this? That's how Peter made his millions throwing house parties. He became this magnet for people and they just wanted to be around him. And they knew, because of the whole idea of appreciation, that offering appreciation in the form of money, not only is that what Peter wants and what Peter enjoys, but also when they give him that money, they know that they're going to get that money back 3, 5, 10-fold. You don't practice appreciation and attract people who don't get it unless you yourself are like refusing to understand it or refusing to accept it. Which it's possible that that could happen. You could very well practice appreciation, but like your brain is like, this is stupid, it makes no sense. And then you're going to attract people who are like, I don't get it. Which is possibly why I'm attracting people who don't get it, right? I take responsibility for all of this. But you all created me at the same time. All right, wait, who else? Okay, let me go back. I want to see what your intuition's names are. Someone said Emilio. Emilio. Okay. My intuition's name is Justin Bieber. Interesting. Okay. Do you go into meditation to speak with your guide? You don't have to go into meditation, no. What I do is just like take a breath, just a centering breath, but I don't have to go into meditation, and you don't have to either. I asked and the name Andrew came to me right away. Yes. So your intuition, it might be male or have a masculine name. It might be female and have a masculine name. It has no different, it doesn't matter. You may be masculine or male with a female intuition, or you might be female with a masculine intuition. Like my fiance Andre, his intuition is feminine. Her name is Aurelia. Who else? I don't really know anyone else who named their intuition. I know Robert Scheinfeld named his. I just don't know the name. Big Daddy Daryl. Petunia, that's cute. Sarah. I love that. Emilio. Thanks for watching my YouTube. That's awesome. Okay. Places are drawn to you. Yes. All right. Mine is a playful, rosy pig named Petunia. Is that possible? Yeah, absolutely. Amana in Arabic means trustee. That's cool. I think people in STEM have the biggest challenges dropping their logic. Yes, I would agree to that. There are people who you would call them emerald personalities who are very data-driven and analytical who have a very hard time with dropping their logic. But really, what they're really afraid of, it's not dropping their logic that they fear, it's focusing on their feelings. How do you know if it's male or... You don't know if it's male or female. It's not male or female. It's just that when people hear names, they typically categorize them as like feminine or masculine. Your intuition may have a feminine name or a masculine name, but that doesn't matter. Your sex has nothing to do with your intuition. Hobo said that you have to be very patient about it, but that you have to wait. Assuming that your intuition's name is Hobo. Thank Sweet Soul Serenade. Thank you. I like my hair too. Okay. All the insights you mentioned are so great. Oh, thanks. I was listening to the Money Game audiobook, and the part about everyone being actors was really scary. Yeah, it can be. But really, if you think of everyone as being actors, what they're just doing is playing roles in your play. So if you are destined or meant to, or if your path goes a certain way, then another person is going to come in and facilitate that for you. Like maybe it's getting a specific career or a job. Someone else is going to be the actor in your play and give you that role if it's meant for you. So is it scary? I guess it can be. It's more so like you can think of it as universal cooperation. You get what you believe you deserve. Yes. So self-appreciation is the act of cultivating belief in greater deservingness. Thank you for all the likes and the gifts. I don't understand how you can enjoy being broke. Okay, it's not being broke that you enjoy, it's the feeling. This is a very important point, and thank you for asking, Bethesda Onanita. When you use the statements exercise, like I was just explaining, where you say, I'm willing to admit that I enjoy the feeling of whatever, in this case, enjoy the feeling of being broke, you're not saying I enjoy being broke. The circumstances are almost never enjoyable. But what you do enjoy about being broke is the feeling of, it could be the predictability. You could feel very safe being broke. Even though you don't necessarily know how to pay your bills, you know that you don't have to fight off people asking for money. When you're broke, you feel like you know exactly what's going to happen every single month. You don't have to worry about shit. You focus on getting your money, you focus on paying your bills. Very safe, very predictable. That is why people may enjoy the feeling of being broke. It's not that they enjoy being broke. But it's those feelings, the attachments to the safety, the predictability that keep you in the broke cycle because you refuse to feel differently. It's about feelings. Feelings. So self-appreciation gets you out of that cycle because you know that you are safe. You create your own safety. When you feel safe being broke, it's because you think that you don't create your own safety. You think that safety is something you have to like find and cultivate for yourself through minimizing your impact and your space in the world. No, your safety is just something you feel because you accept and understand that you create everything and you're not going to create anything that isn't meant for you. Santa Barbara and we can go brewery hopping. That sounds freaking awesome. Hey, Rainy Days Dad. Okay. The Mugly Lady. How to initiate a conversation with someone to discuss personal development. Oh, sorry. Something just popped up and I got distracted for a minute. How to initiate a conversation with someone to discuss... Okay, are you concerned about their personal development? Because if that's the case, that's not your responsibility. It's also not about personal development. It's about emotional development. Personal development is... hopefully none of you are personal development coaches. Personal development is a distraction. It's a phase 1 complicated thing. Emotional development, on the other hand, is the act of cultivating the ability to feel deeper feelings, right? That's it. Your emotional development is what creates change in your life. Personal development is really just about chasing your tail and coming up with problems and fixing them and coming up with problems and fixing. It's like whack-a-mole. So I can't really answer your question there. But thanks for asking. All right. Menina Floral. Do I need specific goals or aspirations to become rich? No, you need none of those. If being rich is something that makes you feel excited, like happy, the idea of having an abundance of money appeals to you and you're not wanting it just because you think you should want it, like peer pressure type, oh, if you're not rich, then you're not good enough, then it's meant for you. I think that everyone is meant to have abundance. Is there a difference between like financial abundance and being wealthy? I don't know. That depends. It's a comparison. But I do think that everyone is meant to have more than enough to survive. So if you're struggling with having enough to survive, it's because you're not following your feelings. You're following your logic, and your logic is just repeating experiences that you've had before because that's what it knows. This is why logic is limiting. It will not get you out of what you're already in because your logic is what got you there in the first place. Whew. All right. Yeah, personal development. Right. Does your method still work if others around you are in a negative vibe? Yes, because it's not about other people. Phase 2, quantum networking, has absolutely nothing to do with other people. In fact, manifest with Mary Sims, if other people around you are in a negative vibe, it's because you created that. You created those people being in a negative vibe. And when you change your vibe and you appreciate yourself more, because that's the only thing you have to do, just appreciate yourself more, you'll find that other people are less negative. And if they're not less negative, they're gonna fuck off and you won't have to deal with them anymore. Yay, Crypto Cowgirl. I'm so excited for tomorrow also. Okay. No, that was, okay. Sweet Soul Serenade. Why can't I admit to myself I want and need him? I don't know. Why can't you? Because you're scared? I'm willing to admit that I enjoy the feeling of wanting and needing him. Ooh. What? Ugh. I enjoy the feeling of being single and lonely. Yeah, I'm sure that's very predictable for you. That's not about you specifically, but like, I'm sure the feeling of being single and lonely is quite predictable. Why am I always used to doing things for others and can't say no? That's called people pleasing. So you may say out loud, I'm willing to admit that I enjoy the feeling of not being able to say no to other people. Okay, Menina Floral. This question is probably on a lot of people's minds. How do you assume your new self-concept being, I deserve the best? It is literally only through practicing self-appreciation. You guys have no idea. I think this is clear to me by now. I've done 3 live streams this week and it just hit me. You guys have no fucking idea the magnitude of self-appreciation. You have no idea how key that is. When I say the only thing you have to do is appreciate yourself, I mean that very seriously. It's like the holy grail to make a comparison, and comparisons are limiting, but you have no idea. I swear to God, like, take 5 minutes after this live stream or right now. Now I'm doing the Italian hand thing. It's because it's late in the day and I'm like, nah. Take 5 minutes, take less than that, take 60 seconds. Put on your favorite song, do something that makes you feel good, so you feel happiness. You guys know how to feel happiness in your body, like that warm sense in your chest. Think about a good memory. And then try to hold that feeling in your body for as long as you possibly can. I bet you will not get past 60 seconds. No, not even 60. You won't get past 10 seconds before your logical mind is like, oh, we got stuff to do. Or you start thinking about something random out of the blue. That's self-appreciation, offering yourself happiness. And the fact that you can't create or feel or facilitate or just, you can't feel happiness for longer than like 10 seconds is why your life is the way it is right now. You can feel miserable or like a little bit of misery for an extended period of time, but you can't feel very much happiness for an extended period of time. So practice that. You have like lopsided emotions. You can feel like sad or anger or whatever you feel for a long time, but you feel happiness for a very short time. When you start to balance that out and you feel more happiness, you're deepening your capacity to feel your feelings. And as you do that, you create space for your life to expand. Because right now, since you can't feel more than what you're capable of feeling, new experiences are going to trigger new feelings, and you don't have the fucking guts for it yet. That's the bottom line. So your new self-concept is not about reprogramming your mind. That's a waste of time. It is literally only about practicing feeling happy. That's phase 2. That's the secret of the wealthy. I'm sorry it's not more complicated than that or more like dramatic than that. But that's why it works. It's because it's simple. But nobody fucking does it. Nobody. It's about you and only you. Whoo! Just did Reiki. Felt like talking to my coach about money. Opened your TikTok and found your live. Welcome, Rosa Hanum. Thank you. Okay, my cloud picks for you. Talking about things being meant for you and how to know if it's meant for you. It's meant for you if you like the idea of it. I will say, though, a lot of people want things. This is key. Listen carefully. A lot of people want things only because they think it'll impress other people. So, for example, if you want to be a movie star because you think about other people being like, wow, she made it. Wow, like wow, I can't believe she's a movie star now. But you don't actually think about how you would feel. You just want that from your ego. Therefore, is it meant for you? Probably not. But if you think about being a movie star and you really think about like how much pride and joy and happiness and excitement you would feel, and other people's opinions have no fucking impact on it, then it's meant for you. So a way to kind of determine if you have an egoic want or a destined want is consider if you would still want it if no one could know you had it. Would you still want to be a movie star if literally no one could know about it? At least no one that you know, no one that you'd want to know. Would you still want to have that like 50th floor penthouse if nobody could know that you owned it? Would you still want to have that Rolls Royce if nobody could know you owned it? If you don't want it, or if you like, if it's a little bit less exciting thinking about people not being able to know about it, it's an egotistical want. Whew. All right. Juan. Your intuition's name is Juan. That's funny. I love that. How would phase 2 work with weight loss? That's an interesting question because ironically, that's something that I'm kind of working through now at the same time. I have gained some weight in the past year, and what I've come to realize is that the reason I've struggled to go to the gym is because I'm not supposed to go to the gym. I only wanted to go to the gym and get buff because I knew it would impress other people. But the idea of actually going and lifting weights is not appealing to me. I only did it because I wanted other people to be impressed. But what does work for me and what I do like is pole dance and pole exercise. And I don't care if anyone sees me do it. I don't feel the need to show off to other people. I just know that it would make me feel very strong and feminine and sensual. So I think when it comes to weight loss in phase 2, if you're struggling to lose weight with a particular exercise plan, it's because that plan's not how you're supposed to lose the weight. So instead, think about what you want to do. Do you want to learn salsa? Do you want to start rock climbing? When you start doing what you're meant to do because you feel like doing it, that's when any physical problems that you have will melt away because you're starting to align with your consciousness's like path for your life. Okay. Spicy cardio? No, I hate cardio. Okay. I've experienced much trauma. It has manifested in my body with unbearable chronic fatigue. Wow, that sounds really tough. Chronic fatigue. Yeah. I wonder if you have, I'm sure you do, have feelings that you are not, like feeling about that. So my fiance Andre had chronic nerve pain that he no longer has since entering phase 2 because, again, like I've said before, entering phase 2 has a lot to do with expanding your capacity to feel your feelings, right? So I won't give you advice, like you didn't ask for advice, but I'm sorry to hear that you have a lot of chronic fatigue. Copy 13. All right. What's going on? There's like a conversation in my chat. Why do I feel bored when I think that I'm rich? Because it's not about the money. Being rich is not about the money for a lot of people. If you think it's about the money, what you're really seeking is safety and security. You like the idea of being rich because you want to be able to know that your bills are covered. But for other people, the idea of being rich comes with feelings like, oh, I could host lavish parties, and I could, treat people to things they'd never otherwise be able to experience, which is still about you. When you're treating someone to something they would never otherwise experience, you are experiencing yourself the feeling of generosity and like selflessness. It's not about the other person's experience, it's about what you can do with your freedom. Yeah. Interesting. I swear corporate culture beats into you grind culture. I feel guilt for doing what I believe it, but you created corporate culture. I hate to break it to you, crypto cowgirl, but lovingly, you created corporate culture. If you're experiencing it, it was your path. So consciousness wanted you to deal with corporate culture so you could also experience the alternative to that, or the flip side to that. Now is your wake-up call. You created me to tell you, hey, you're not supposed to be doing the corporate thing anymore. Yeah. Britt does books. Oh, there's another good question here from Bethesda Onanita. Britt does books. Why is marketing online so scary? Did you feel fear when you started, and what's the first step? I did feel fear, yeah. So I was in phase 2 at the time, and I felt a lot of fear around people attacking me for selling things, like selling an ebook. I felt fear around like negative, disagreeing comments and things, but all of that has to do with other people. So for you, I don't really know what you're scared of, but if you understand, maybe not understand, if you can accept and realize that all of the things you're afraid of, you're creating for the purpose of the experience, it's a little bit less scary. Like, for example, when I sell my ebooks and somebody comments on my TikToks, oh, you're just selling some stupid bullshit. I know that I created that person to trigger me so I could work through the feeling. It has nothing, that person, they don't even exist. They're not real. I don't know who they are, don't know where they live, don't have a fucking clue about them, yet they're here on my TikTok and I created that. So now I get hardly any complaints about selling stuff because I've moved through my discomfort. I've expanded my capacity to feel uncomfortable feelings in that way. So for you, I think I already said that. So for you, just accept that everything that you're scared of, you are creating for the purpose of experiencing it. I got to 60 seconds on round 2, Joseph the Burrito. Nice. Okay. Full body ecstasy for 60 seconds. That's fucking crazy. Wow. The amount of expansion you're experiencing right now. Wow. I would love to know if like things start changing in your life really soon. Okay. Bethesda Onanita. Is it hard to distinguish between appreciating your authentic self and appreciating your ego narcissism? The thing is, that's the whole package. There is no separation between your authentic self and your ego. I know that I talk about like egoic wants and things, but the truth is, you don't have to. I would advise that you appreciate the whole fucking thing because it's all part of the experience. If you cut off your ego and you're like, I don't want to have an ego anymore, my ego is irrelevant, that's like chopping off part of your body. This is a package deal. Like this whole experience, narcissism is part of the experience, your ego is part of the experience, your authentic self is part of the experience, and there's no reason to separate any of them. That just creates complication. This is why phase 1 is so complicated, because there's so much distinction between everything. There's tiers, there's hierarchies, there's labels, there's judgments, there's comparisons. That's what makes things complicated. But when you accept that everything is occurring simultaneously and there's no difference between anything, like literally anything, simplicity can exist. Don't worry about narcissism. Don't worry about your ego. Don't even worry about like wanting things. I would actively discourage all of you from using the word want. So stop saying, I want this. If you desire to experience something, you can say instead, I feel like experiencing X. So don't say, I want to go to the store. You can say, I feel like going to the store. Don't say, I want to make $1 million. You can say, I feel like experiencing $1 million. Wanting creates separation. Hopefully that answers your question. Yeah. Do I still walk slow to feel rich? I abso-fucking-lutely do. I love walking slow in like places where there are people, like across a restaurant or something. It's harder because there's people around you, but I definitely still do it. Yeah. Okay, I mentioned a book about money yesterday, Traced Through Time and Space. I missed the title. Would you mind repeating it? Yeah, it was probably Busting Loose from the Money Game. Busting Loose from the Money Game is a great book. It talks about phase 1 and phase 2. So phase 1 and phase 2 is not something that I came up with. It's not part of my like marketing or anything. Phase 2 is actually the secret of the wealthy. It's been referred to as phase 2 for decades, if not centuries, in different books, which is pretty freaking crazy. I think it's really cool. I feel like some things did change in a very good way. Good. Yeah, you may be experiencing people treating you differently, relationships, the nature of certain relationships shifting, your relationship with yourself shifting. Might be very subtle, but also there. The difference between there is no difference between narcissism and ego. It's all the same thing. When you label something, when you're judging something, you create distinction when there's no difference between anything at all. All is one. The human experience, I feel like people want to like eradicate narcissism. It's just because they don't accept narcissism as something they created, something that they are part of, something they're physically, I don't know, perpetuating. There's literally nothing wrong with narcissism. You may be thinking, oh, but narcissists are horrible people. Yeah, you created the narcissist for the purpose of interacting with them. Did you learn anything about yourself? Can you appreciate the experience of interacting with someone like that? Can you even accept the fact that you yourself are capable of narcissism? These things create so much confusion. We're judging, we're hating, we're like, this person shouldn't even be allowed to live because they're so horrible. It's just a reflection of yourself. There's a part of you that deeply loathes the narcissist in you, which is why you had that experience. This is getting very deep and it may be very uncomfortable for some of you, but you want simplicity. If you're listening to this stream, you want to learn about phase 2 and simplicity. I'm explaining it to you and I can't just talk about the fun stuff. Right? Well, I could, but then I would be doing you and myself a disservice as well. Okay. Do you jump up and down between phase 1 and 2? Yeah, you can jump back and forth. It is, like I said earlier, way earlier on the stream, practicing phase 2, you have to practice phase 2 because we're so used to thinking about other people and putting other people before ourselves. So if someone could magically just like stop thinking about other people, that would be very impressive, but it's not realistic and you shouldn't expect yourself to be able to do that. So jumping between phase 1 and phase 2 is really just the experience of forgetting that it's about other people and remembering that it's only about you, kind of like that balance, but it gets easier. Can I save this live? Yeah. Okay. I can put it on my YouTube channel. I could put it on my YouTube channel, yeah. It won't be immediately, like I'm going to have to download it, which is going to take some time, and then upload it, which is going to take even more time, but yeah. There is no such thing as bad marketing if you're genuine. I believe that. I totally agree with that. The thing is, marketing, let me tell you guys something crazy. If any of you here are like worried about starting a business because you're scared of the market research and the ads and the, copywriting and all that stuff, in phase 2, you don't need to do any of that. Because in phase 2, if it's only about yourself, all you have to focus on or even concern yourself with is what feels good to you. Because if it feels good to you, it's going to feel good to the people who are meant to be your clients. So when I make content that I like. Little secret, like, I watch my own content all the time because I just like consuming my own content. It's kind of funny, but that just goes to show what phase 2 is like, I don't make content that I don't want to make for the sake of other people. I don't do market research. I didn't even do market research when I wrote Quantum Networking. I finished it in 2 weeks. I released it. I threw a cover together. Fuck it. I honestly changed the tagline probably 4 times since releasing that book. I didn't have to change anything else. I just did what I felt like doing and what I wanted to do. Whew. Feel expensive and that you're expensive. Did you ever see mediocre people be famous? I can honestly agree with you, Sweet Soul Serenade. Famous people appreciate themselves a lot. That's, yeah. Do people create infidelity to lead them to self-love? Probably. I can imagine people creating the experience of infidelity to kind of hopefully trigger them to come back to themselves. Yeah. What is quantum networking in phase 2? Oh, and also there's a good question from Shadow Winner 4. Quantum networking in phase 2 are, in a nutshell, secrets of the wealthy. So I've described this before. Phase 2 is a concept that is passed down from wealthy mentor to mentee and within wealthy families. You can read about it in different books. They're actually, for some reason, quite obscure, probably because most people aren't supposed to know about it until a certain point in their experience. But what I'm teaching is a secret of the wealthy that my fiance learned from his mentor, who he then taught to me, which I'm now using. And the main thing about phase 2 is the simplicity and the fact that it's about you. So that's what I'm talking about here. It's not about other people. Imperfect Adventure, you enjoyed the book. Thank you. Thanks for reading it and checking it out and listening to the bonus stuff. Oh yeah, the ebook Quantum Networking. If any of you want to know more about following your intuition, there's like a whole bonus section, a bunch of audio tapes, not tapes, tapes. There's a bunch of audio recordings that are very detailed instructions on how to use your intuition. It's at the very back of my ebook, which is available via the link in my bio. If you wanted to know more about that, there's tons of info about it in the book. Whew. Okay, Shadow Winner. What is one of the best ways to grow wealth from nothing? It's literally all about how you feel. Growing wealth is a matter of expanding your capacity to feel your feelings, which is self-appreciation, combined with doing what you are meant to do. So you are the avatar. Your consciousness wants you to like work with it and do the thing that it wants you to do, because that's going to lead you to your highest possible best experience. If you're struggling and everything feels hard, it's because you're not aligned with what your intuition wants you to do. If there was no intuition, if you could really do anything you wanted, nothing would be hard, because you truly are an unlimited being. That's your nature. When you exit this game, when you die, stop judging. All right. My YouTube channel is called Sam Rossi. Yeah, you'll find it. You might find it if you just look for it. My pleasure, Manifest with Mary Sims. Yeah, I wanted to go live today, especially to talk about the quantum networking event that's tomorrow. So if any of you just popped on here, I want to let you know that we're hosting an event tomorrow or today, depending on where you are in the world, at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And the purpose of the event is to create a space where you can experience phase 2. Now, a main part of phase 2 is being able to talk about appreciating yourself and talk about good things, essentially. A lot of people struggle with talking about positive things, talking about self-love and self-appreciation, because they feel like it makes other people uncomfortable. We're creating a space where you can actually practice talking about things like that. So it's going to be really fun and probably quite transformational. You will also meet people who you can keep in touch with and communicate with on that level moving forward. So it's going to be really valuable. That's available via the link in my bio if you want to come. That's what I like about this. It's all based in feeling, not obligation. Me frickin' too. You know what? Obligation is such a shitty feeling. People want to run away because of the feeling of obligation. If you've ever felt to yourself like, I just want to run away and never come back, you can run away, but your problems will still be there no matter where you go. And that feeling is caused by the feeling of limitation, which is obligation. Being concerned with other people all the time, literally never feeling like you can be happy. It's caused by feeling like you have expectations placed on you. It is miserable. Alternatively, you enter phase 2. And when you enter phase 2 and you focus on yourself and appreciating yourself and doing what feels good to you, you don't have to run away anymore. You no longer feel like running away would be the solution to your problems. Doesn't mean you can't travel, but you basically come home to yourself, which it feels so good. The key of phase 2 is being genuine? Nah, I wouldn't say so. I can see why you would think that. The real key of phase 2 is self-appreciation. So whether that means being genuine or not, I don't know what your definition of genuine is, but liking yourself and giving yourself happiness no matter what is the key. I did write a book in 2 weeks. Yes, that was what I was instructed to do. It may have a few typos here and there, but I definitely wrote it in 2 weeks. It's 130 pages long, so it's not like it's like 500 pages. Yeah. Is that an American accent? It is indeed an American accent. Joseph the Burrito. Oh, sorry. Is there something I said I was going to talk about but I didn't get to? Oh, all right. Hold on. Joseph the Burrito. I feel like the expectations of others were lighter and the appreciation of me was higher. Yeah. You're like evolving and expanding. That's great. Okay. No me senteno. 2. How do I access phase 1 to start? You're already in phase 1. Phase 1 is where you don't want to be. Phase 1 is like normal life that everyone is living. Phase 2 is where things change. You are already in phase 1. Yes. Okay. So Kate's Melody, if you're looking at the ebook page, the $22 option is just the book Quantum Networking. We're also coming out with another book called Quantum Cash, which is going to be all about money in January. So that's the $44 option. So you could pre-order that one and it will be emailed to you in January. But that's up to you. You can choose whatever you want. I'm really excited for Quantum Cash because all the things in Quantum Cash changed my fucking life. I've read so many money books. I've read like Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich. You name the money book, I've read it. None of them helped me. But the information that's in Quantum Cash helped me. Yeah, I don't even care if I sound like cheesy or corny or like markety right now. I'm excited to release this book because I can say with great thrill and certainty that that book changed my fucking life. Yeah. Okay, how long did it take you to practice before you saw results? Less than a month. Okay, let me break this down for you guys. And I'm so sorry if I missed your comment. I'm gonna go back up and read some more comments, but I'm gonna address this question first. Okay, I struggled financially for like literally my entire life. I've been a minimum wage worker my entire life. I stopped having jobs in 2019, but I still struggled financially up until October this year. Yeah, I was having like sub $1,000 months for a year straight. My fiance, fortunately, has been able to like cover me for a long time, but I was broke, like broke. And when I started working with my intuition and practicing self-appreciation, that was when I was told by my intuition to finish quantum networking in 2 weeks. So I was like, I'm writing this fucking book. And I put it out from October to the October 15th. That was when I was writing the book. I put it out and it was like kind of crickets. There was like 2 sales on the first day, not a lot, whatever. But then I started the self-appreciation thing. I started practicing feeling happy. When I tell you $2,000 weeks, $3,000 weeks, it's been like a month. It's been a month and a half since I released quantum networking. And I had my first $10,000 month from sub $1,000 months for literally a year to $10,000 in a month. Because of self-appreciation and following my intuition. Fucking crazy. Like, it's so much simpler than you think. It took me 3 years to accept this, because Andre was teaching me this 3 years ago, right? He was like, Sam, why don't you just do what I fucking tell you to do? I refused, and I refused to do it because I insisted that it had to be more difficult than he was saying it was. I insisted because I was like, if it's really that simple, I've been wasting my life struggling for literally no reason, and I could not accept that. I just refused to accept it. But then I got to a point where I was like, I'm not getting any younger. I'm either going to keep struggling or I'm just going to let it be simple. And I finally decided to let it be simple. I finally decided to just focus on self-appreciation and following my intuition, doing what felt good. Less than a month. 1 month, whatever. Like 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. It was just like, here, bitch, about fucking time. Yeah, so that's what Quantum Cash is going to be about. Like, the process of shifting your experience in that way. All right. Am I 6'4"? That'd be funny. I could be a supermodel if I was 6'4". How did I write my book so quickly? I just wrote. A lot of the time when people write books, they're really concerned about, you know, are other people going to understand this? Is this clear? Like, is this good? They do a lot of editing. I just wrote. I was writing. I'm like, people will either get this or they won't. And because I just accepted, I just let it flow, it turned out that people actually did get it. I've gotten very good reviews about the book. Almost no one says that they didn't understand it. Basically, I didn't overthink it. That was how I managed to write it so fast. And it's also not super long. It's 130 pages. Woo! 11 Mountain Time? Yes, 11 Mountain Time. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But you can double check through the like button. I don't use anything on my hair except cheap shampoo. All right. Am I an actor? I am. My G. Would you say these techniques can be applied to more than entrepreneurship? Yes. This can be applied to your entire life. If you don't want to be an entrepreneur, if you like having a career or you want to do literally anything else, this all applies. Self-appreciation is the key. That's it. It has nothing to do specifically with business. Taurus. Yes, I read that recently, that millionaires don't use astrology, but billionaires do. Yeah, I read that recently. Okay. I'm writing a coloring book with poems for kids. I love this project so much. That's freaking awesome. Okay, so you've got the first part down, or I guess it's technically the second part, Aquila Agatha. What you also can be doing at the same exact time is, like my brain just like farted. Also be appreciating yourself. So you're doing a project you love. Make sure you're also appreciating the fuck out of yourself for what you're doing and for just who you are as a living human being, right? Making friends, getting thin, good health. Yes, my making friends, like effort, there is no effort, right? I had no friends for like 3 years, except for one person, Stephanie. I met her at a networking event. She's great. But I really wanted friends my age. Stephanie's like 55. I love her. And she's great. It's just been a really long time since I've actually been friends with someone who is my age. This month, I've made 3 new friends with literally zero effort. They reached out to me on Instagram. We started chatting, and it's like suddenly friends. I even had like drinks with 2 of them this past weekend. It was the most fun I've had in so long, and it was the same day I met them. There was no awkwardness. It was really fun. What's the difference? Hedonism, bitch. What's the difference between your book, Quantum Networking, and Quantum Cash? So Quantum Networking is about phase 2 and networking, and Quantum Cash is about phase 2 and money. So, yeah. Money, yeah. Quantum Cash is like all about money. That's the thing. Everyone wants to know more about money. Are pricing your book in 8s? No, my book is $22. And it comes with an audiobook too. So if you don't want to read like a 120, 30-page digital book. You can just listen to it. I narrate it. Thank you, Ms. Rosalie Tolentino. You finished my book? Oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And yes, thank you, everyone. Can I pre-order Quantum Cash without quantum networking, which you already have? Yes. So we've been sending out emails. I'll send out another one. Yeah. So if you're on my email list, which you probably are, Cool Breeze, check for another email about getting Quantum Cash. And that will solve the problem. Yeah. Isn't quantum networking a $100 book? No, it's $22. Are you seeing someone charging $100 for that book? Ooh. Yeah. That's weird. No, it's not $100. I can call myself literally whatever the fuck I want. I used to teach people how to network with millionaires. That's why I call myself Miss Money Working. Like networking with people with money. That was where the name came from. I've been on TikTok for almost 2 years now. Yeah. Can I tell another story like yesterday? What story did I tell yesterday? Have you guys heard the story about the laptop? Andre's laptop? Was it self-published? Yes, the book is self-published. It's an ebook. It's on Gumroad. Using Phase 2 as a copywriter? Yeah, you can literally do whatever you want with Phase 2. Cuppy 13, do I have any self-healing techniques for chronic fatigue? Ugh, I don't know if I'm the best person to talk to about chronic illnesses because I've never had one. Andre has had chronic nerve pain. What I would suggest, and I have literally no idea if this is going to help, I think it helped Andre, but I'd have to double check with him, is admitting to yourself that you enjoy the feeling of chronic fatigue. It sounds kind of harsh, but if you are creating your chronic fatigue, or if you're willing to accept that you are the one creating your chronic fatigue, admitting that you enjoy the feeling of it is taking responsibility and accepting that you've been choosing that experience for the sake of the feeling that it provides. Whatever that feeling is, could be predictability, consistency, whatever. Give that a try. See if you feel any energy moving. And if you do feel energy moving when you say that statement, repeat it until there's no more energy. And then you let go of the attachment. Hi from Thailand. Hello, One Shines. All right. Since the book, I'm noticing my feelings more. Good. That's awesome. Disease is dis-ease. Exactly. Yeah. I'm thirsty and exhausted. I am getting kind of tired, yeah. But I'm good. Why have you been broke this whole time until October 2022? That's a really good question. And the answer is very simple. I've been broke this whole time. And I even come from a line of working class people because none of us appreciated ourselves. The thing that changed everything was appreciating myself. That's the secret of the wealthy. You may want it to be more complicated than I'm saying. I'm telling you that it's not more complicated than that. I did not appreciate myself. I was a victim. I was angry. I was miserable. I was sad. I was basically in a loop where I would think about being broke. I would feel terrible. And then I would think about being broke and I would feel terrible. And I would create more brokenness and I would feel more terrible until I finally got to the point where I got to do something else. And the doing something else was not working harder. It's not figuring something else out. It's feeling different. When you're broke, how often do you think to yourself, you know what, I'm going to feel good? Never. You're always thinking about how you can fix your problem, how shitty everything fucking is. That's why you stay broke. So when you when you break that cycle, it's because you were the first to say, I'm going to feel different and I'm not going to pay attention to what's happening around me. That's why. The laptop story. Oh, the letter for 5K. Yeah, that was a good story too. Yeah. I can feel Andre. I just heard him yawn. How does all this work when it comes to health? Your health is directly correlated to your feelings, the same way your money is. So if you think about being stressed out, when you're stressed out, what happens? your hair falls out, your breathing gets really shallow, you're in fight or flight mode, your heart has to beat harder, you have, high blood pressure. The feeling of stress causes health problems. So when you can expand your capacity to feel better feelings, you release the stress. What causes stress? Feeling shitty all the time, feeling like your external circumstances are being forced onto you and not your power. Self-appreciation helps you take your power back. So the better you feel, the better your health becomes. You have all the power over your health. All right, I'm gonna go pretty soon, because yeah, I'm gonna go. Good question, Bethesda Onanita. Self-appreciation is not the same thing as self-love. Not the same. The difference, and someone asked me this earlier today, the difference between self-appreciation and self-love is that self-love is kind of stagnant. When you love yourself, the way I see it, it's like the opposite of hating yourself. Some people hate themselves, some people love themselves. Self-appreciation is active, intentional expansion. You don't just appreciate yourself, you're constantly appreciating yourself more and more and more. It's like blowing up a balloon, but it never pops. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So hopefully that analogy makes sense. Self-love is stagnant. You kind of just love yourself. Self-appreciation constantly grows with practice. And self-appreciation is the act of giving yourself happiness. So you can love yourself, but still feel like you're a victim of everything. If you appreciate yourself, you can't feel like a victim. So many great questions. I'm really sorry I have to go. Hi from Scotland. Hi. Can you give an example of appreciating yourself? Yeah, just do something you like to do. So if it's your first time, what I would suggest is playing your favorite song. Give yourself 5 minutes to really listen to your favorite song, and that good feeling, that happiness, don't just listen. You got to vibe. You're not just listening here. You're feeling the good vibes from the music. And once the song is over, or in the middle of the song, practice holding that good feeling in your body as long as you possibly can. Focus on it. You'll find that your mind immediately starts to distract you. You immediately start thinking of stuff you could be doing or just random shit. That's your actual experience with how little you appreciate yourself. That expands with practice. Oh no. Did I fumble the bag when I had rich friends? I told myself I don't care about money and networking. No, I don't think you fumbled the bag. I think you may have been lying to yourself, or that's the truth. And if that's the truth, then that's good. Because if you don't care about money and networking and you appreciate yourself, you're going to also create people and come across people who don't care about that too. But, if you want if you want friends with money, then maybe you should stop saying you don't care about money. Not that money is the most important thing. In fact, there's things that are way beyond money. Caring about money so much is a very surface level life experience. Beyond money is where things get really interesting. Yeah. Wealthy people afford their lifestyles because they've gone beyond money. Where do you do quantum events? On Zoom. They're on Zoom, so no matter where you are in the world, you can come if the time isn't a problem. All right, y'all, I have to go. Thank you so much. If you purchased the ebook during this live stream, I really appreciate that. I cannot wait to hear what you think about it. If you would like to purchase it or you'd like to come to the quantum networking event tomorrow, all of that is available via the link in my bio. That's where everything is. And yeah, thanks for asking all the questions and hanging out with me. I'm so sorry if I didn't get to your question. I gotta go. I've got some food in the oven, in the Dutch oven that I gotta take out. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you all. And I look forward to seeing you at the networking event, quantum networking event tomorrow if you're coming. Yes, for sure. I appreciate you guys. And don't forget to appreciate yourselves. Give yourself happiness. All right? Kisses. Kisses. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.